Welcome back to Cancel Weekly from our sexy new set. Joined to us as always, Candace, Mr. Gerard, I myself and Mickey. Today on Cancel Weekly, we have giving people their flowers. We have kids and social media. We have Biden on war and on Trump. We have hard work versus happiness. We have an early 2000s music video. But first, a new workout just dropped. What would you do if you saw this at your gym? All this tonight on Cancel Week.
She doesn't say anything, I'm guessing.
No.
Okay, this is more of a visual presentation.
People aren't tuning in for her
I
thoughts and
respect
words.
the hustle. She's working her flexibility.
Let's run that.
She's working,
let's run that back and do a breakdown here, Chris.
She's working her flexibility. She's working, 3 parts of the shoulders there. She's got a lot going on. I respect it.
Hey, we're a big show not tell show over here. Why don't you throw that back on screen and we'll do a little breakdown here.
Are you gonna break down her box with that Zoom here?
Look. First of all right, phenomenal core strength there, right? She's got unbelievable flexibility.
I'm gonna call it more flexibility than core strength.
She's working in a superset here, Mick. She's going biceps. All right, now I'm not. Now that's some people call that the Arnold superset, the biceps into the military press. There, I'm not much for doing pull and push supersets myself, but I don't know. She's maximizing her time here. How does one
She's mixing it up a lot? Like she's doing Arnold's, but then she hits a couple little bicep pulses.
I think how does one come to acquire the knowledge that they can do this, Candace?
I think some people are hyper flexible. I'm definitely in that category. You just
Prove it.
No, I didn't mean the
flexibility.
No, I didn't mean the flexibility of what she's doing. The complete and total lack of shame to be doing this in public. Where does one come to acquire the knowledge?
I've never been able to do that. I got hired one time to do this one shoot. It was called for FTV, and his whole thing is public stuff. And I didn't really know. I just showed up, and they kind of sprung it on me, and I'm so shy, and I did terrible. I did absolutely terrible. And he was so
public,
pissed.
Sex stuff?
Yeah, getting nude in public places.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't do it. It was so hard.
Nightmare. Yeah.
It was so hard. I'm gonna get arrested.
No, I dated a girl that had a fetish. She wanted every time we were on the subway, she wanted to start getting it on, and I'm like, I can smell piss, man.
I just think it's super disrespectful too, because that content is gonna end up on a specific site, and none of the people around her are consenting to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you're gonna do that, rent the fucking gym when it's closed, or set something up.
Stage it.
Right. Don't do that.
Oh, he's getting off on the embarrassment. He's getting off on the fact that you don't like doing it, probably. Chris, pull that back up. I want to point out. If you can't zoom in. Look at the absolute G in the back, keeping his head. He's got a chick to his left. He's got this thing going on right. Look at him. He's just got his head down, focused on his biceps. Look at him. He's just got his head down, getting his curls in. I ain't looking at nothing. My girlfriend said both of these chicks. This is a test.
Well,
There's no way.
The other girl's recording in the back. She's probably you can't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, I saw the other day. Actually, this would have been a good clip for the show. Some girls doing sets, right, and recording it, and some guy goes to the rack to put a weight back, and she's like, "I'm recording." Give him how dare you walk in front of my camera line? Meanwhile, he's just using the fucking gym.
Yeah.
He goes and puts his weight back on the rack, and she's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I can.
The audacity.
Yeah.
To think this gym is just your fucking studio to do your little gay ass recordings.
A lot of gyms have no phone policies now too. You're not allowed to record. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
That's not what
When I'm trying to squat, and I feel like my sphincter's gonna rip out. There's no way I want to be in the background. If I'm in the background of one of these chicks just doing one of these Instagram thirst traps, and I would have
Yeah.
struggling to get up in the
world
background.
of show over go. They do, 2 or 3 workouts like this and done.
100%.
You know what I mean? And act like they're doing a lot. Meanwhile, there's a lot of people who are doing a lot and showing a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean the That's what they say with Instagram, right? It's like the idea of people that post that they're going to do something, or they post like themselves at the gym.
If they
and-
get that dopamine hit from people being like, good fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
All
they're like,
right.
all right, well, I guess I don't need to lose weight this year.
Situation
Like,
finished.
Yeah. Their
Mission
New Year's
accomplished.
resolution done.
Correct. Yeah. I
I
mean,
got
somebody.
the accolades, even though it's bullshit. It's not real. It's, oh, cool. Good for you. And
What
they're
type of tattoo did we were working with there, Chris? I mean, she was meaty for
You're
being
really
so small. She was meaty.
examining this.
It was meaty. There was meaty. I feel like that's Filipino.
When you're saying meaty, what are you talking about meaty?
What? It's meaty.
What is?
It's meaty.
What is her legs?
It's a lot of meat. It's
All
like
right.
meaty, you know?
All right.
It's like puffy and meaty,
Oh my god.
you know? What? I'm just saying.
Word bulbous.
It's bulbous. It's a bulbous vulvus is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's obviously in great shape. I just don't understand, man. I really just don't understand. Like, the chicks back in the day at the gym that were in great shape, they would put their headphones on and they'd be all about business, and you could tell, like, they did not want to be messed with. And now it's like every chick in there wants the attention, and then as soon as they get the attention, to Mick's point, they go straight to Instagram like, oh, can I just work out without one guy?
They act like indignant of people looking at them too. Like
Yeah.
like they're checking me out. It's like no, there's a freak show going on over here. Like you know what I mean? It's a train wreck. I can't take.
You
not look.
walked out of the apartment wearing that, going, oh God, I hope I don't get any attention today. Just
Yeah.
one day with
I
no
would love to
attention.
just be able to just do my thing and record my social media.
Yeah, this would be the
fuck up.
equivalent of us going to the gym in nothing but a jockstrap and like holding on,
Be like, guys,
like,
girls, stop.
every time we lift, it's nothing but like more and more money. Like, it's so much money. What are you looking at? I'm just trying to work out with my hundreds. Yeah, it's like, get out of here, man. This is the most narcissistic, self-centered stuff. Social media, man. It really did, like, I guess there's always been sociopaths, right? And there's always been narcissists, but social media just went ahead and like,
put them on Main Street. Like, you can kind of see it pretty. It's pretty clear. You know what I mean? Like it kind of shows themselves.
Yeah.
They reveal themselves.
and I'm a guy in a fucking cheetah print jacket saying that. So
Yeah.
like, fucking calm down, people. Like,
Yeah.
let's keep it classy. Speaking of keeping it classy, man, you guys look fantastic. Is this like? Are we doing like a grown-ups episode here?
I
Are we
guess.
doing like? Is this
We
like
started
grown-up?
off on the
Look
right
at-
foot.
Yeah, we started off on the right foot. Candace, are you not wearing
I'm
shoes?
too
right now?
tall for the fucking
My
screen.
sandals broke.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at this. Would you look at this set, people?
It's pretty, right? It's pretty.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Pretty.
you.
Cheers, guys. Here,
Cheers.
I'll get some of that.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Mickey's
Yeah.
not drinking. Got a big fight coming up, so I'm just like really healthy and sober. No big deal.
Just healthy. Just
Yeah.
just doing.
Look,
Can you get your?
Can you guys just give
Can
me?
you get your ankles behind your ears? You're very flexible, huh? Chris,
I
you can
don't
get your
know.
ankles behind your ears.
I don't think so.
Why don't you prove it, buddy? Come on out here and prove it.
You
Come
can.
prove
Let's see.
it.
And if you want, I'll twist you up and make
Put
sure
it on the
happens.
wide shot and
Like
come
a
on out,
pretzel.
sit in front of Candace and show her.
Come on. Here comes CPCP.
Let's go.
That's Cutie Pie Christian Perello.
Cutie pie, Chris Barella.
I need my single.
Come on, man.
Everybody knows.
Oh, he popped the
Right here,
shoes
right
off.
here. No, you got to do two. Oh, we'll try one at least.
If you could
All
do
right,
one,
come
you
on.
You
can
can do
do
one.
two.
You can do one. Show her that taint.
Wow. Very
Je-
good.
Jesus.
Why can you do one and not two?
One,
Oh,
Do,
both.
do the
Yeah.
other one. Do the both. Do the both.
bro.
Wow.
If you're gonna pop a rib right now, commit to the team. You're gonna tear a taint.
Did that do it for you? Did that get you going?
Hey, Christian.
No.
I'm really proud of you, brother.
Yeah,
You're
that was
fucking
really
great guy,
impressive.
and you got great flexibility.
Chris,
It's really
wait,
important.
Chris, you gotta do
Vinny,
it one
fuck
more.
my transition.
Chris, come here, one more. You gotta do it facing the camera. You did it facing, us. The people need to see it. Well, I know you.
Yeah,
You gotta go that way.
You performed for
Yeah,
Candace.
do
Now,
that.
yeah, make sure you
Go
show
perform
your.
for the peoples. Look
Yeah,
at the
look
camera
at
and
that.
smile.
Now do
Look
your
at the
good
camera
one.
and smile.
There you go.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right. CPP.
Well,
Cutie Pie Pretzel
we
Boy.
have our
All
thumbnail.
right. Christian, as I was doing before Gerard interrupted, I was that's what I was doing, man. I was saying how proud I am of you, how great of a job you did. I think you're a great guy.
You're trying to
it's
do this-
important
You're
to
trying
give
You're trying to do this
people
transition when
their
your face is off the
flowers.
camera, bro.
It's important to give people their flowers. Okay? Now, in our next clip, you get to see some of these old folks getting their flowers.
Buy 1,000 roses?
Sorry?
Can I buy 1,000 roses?
1,000? They're $6 each.
How many do you have?
You're talking about red long stem roses?
Yeah, I want to hand them over to a nursing home for free.
Let me just ask the owner.
I wanted to buy 1,000 roses.
1,000?
1,000.
I got 100. You want red? I got a beautiful 100 red.
Okay, what's your
No
name?
problem, Alba.
How much is it per rose?
I will gladly give you a deal on it because a rose usually runs about $6.
How much can you do per rose?
I'm gonna take them with you after I clean them off. About $3.
Half off?
Yeah.
Why do you want to help?
Listen, you're trying to do something nice. I'm trying to help you. I have senior citizen parents. Go make senior citizens happy.
What's the grand total?
Just like that.
$300? Can I leave it tip by any chance?
No,
Alba?
absolutely not. Use that money and pay it forward, okay? No.
I want to give you $500.
I don't, but I'm going to use it for something good. Doing good things,
Thank
okay?
you. Love you.
Oh,
This is for you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
It's beautiful.
You like roses?
I love those.
Oh, I love your smile.
Thank you very, very much.
No problem. You're amazing.
Thank you for brightening our lives today.
Can I give you a hug? Love you.
Thank you.
Got you a rose.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful.
What's your message to the world?
I would hope that there would be peace and that all the people would be happy.
This was for you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You like flowers? Okay. Love you. Can I give you a hug? Are you okay?
That last one gets me every time because it's like you can see that she hasn't had a visitor in probably a very long time. No one's like genuinely wanted to hug her for a very long time, and it's so sad. Like, I don't know how you stick your parent there and you're just like, okay, see ya, never.
Yeah. The culture's a little screwed up in that way. Other cultures take care of their older people. Me and Kim were actually talking about that just the other day. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of culture, like our culture, at least they just stick them in the nursing home and kind of like, shh, peace. We're done with you now. You know what I mean? You don't pay back the people that raised you, you know?
Right.
You should help them at the end of their lives. I think a lot of, like, I love this. I think this is cool because, so sometimes when I see people, like, going out and, like, giving homeless people, like, money and recording it, I feel like it's a little gross, you know? Because it's like, look, if you want to do something nice, like, don't, it's almost like you're using them, you know? I think in this case, it's cool. You're spreading, you're going to maybe inspire people to go and do nice things like that.
Right.
So I almost want to say I give it a pass, but I actually think it's they're using the platform for something good. Going to inspire people to do good more so than just looking to like get likes and get credit off of, you know, something just you should do. You know what I mean?
You know what, man? You just changed my whole mind on it. I was going to say I really wish she did it and didn't record it, but now you just, if recording it then inspires somebody else to do it, then absolutely. Then that, changed my mind on it.
I think it brings
good
awareness too, right? Like, I think so many people think that's just what you do to your parents when they're older, your grandparents.
No, well, I don't want to get too personal with it, but whether or not what to do with my grandma at the end was it broke up my family, destroyed our family, and it was just to the point she lived with us for a very long time, and then sometimes they just degrade to a point where you don't have the capacity and the capabilities in house to handle it.
Well, no, I'm not saying that there's never a time.
No, I don't. My grandma, I welled up the same way you welled up. I miss my grandma, but she hated it. Hated
the home.
Oh,
yeah. And then it's like how often, I don't know. My grandma's getting older too, so I think that's why it gets so emotional. And then like she doesn't have a great support system, and then it's like these little things that you can do that make a huge difference. So obviously there's scenarios where you don't have a choice. Like if you have really bad dementia or Alzheimer's, like I've seen people have to put their parents in a home because of that, because they're literally like a danger to themselves or someone else. But then you have a lot of people doing it out of convenience, or a lot of older people that are doing it because they don't want to be a burden. And like, how awful is that?
You know, it's interesting you say that. That's something my grandma like says all the time. She's like, I'm happy here. You know, I'm happy. I don't have to be a burden to my family.
if it's a nice place, it can be good. You're around people that are the same age.
It is, and everyone supports her and visits her. And you know, I called her 2 days ago just out of the blue. You know, and she's like, you know, I don't want to be a burden to my. And she's like a saint. You know what I mean? And so I do think she actually, you know, enjoys it to a degree. But she's one who like to the day she sold her house would be down on the floor, sitting on the floor with the little kids and like all that stuff. But yeah, that when you said that kind of made me think as well. And I think I think they don't want to be the burden. You know, I mean, even maybe to what your grandma was. You know, you didn't speak too much about it, but I imagine part of that is like, you said she hated it. I don't know if you meant she hated the home, hated the living situation.
She hated the home. She hated it. She was a very.
But if like a
my
proud
grandma
person,
was a G. She lived through so much. She lived through the Great Depression. But when I look at this, man, I look at this and I say, like, you know, we weep for them, weep for the future. Like, my grandma had 8 kids. You know, our generation, I don't even know if I'm gonna have kids. How many people in our generation not married, don't have kids, have no support system? It's not about choosing to be with you or not. That's the future for us. For us, our generation that chose to go clubbing until we were 60. That's what we're barreling towards, man.
they're gonna have it fucking set up in there, bro. By the time you're in there, they're gonna have virtual reality video games. Everybody's fucking everybody in there, bro. Everybody's fucking everybody. They're making new types of diseases. It's like a grown-up college dorm. It's like a freaking old people dorm in there, bro. They're all dude.
That meaty bodybuilder in there, putting her ankles up by her hips.
Yeah, she's getting hip dysplasia. She doesn't give a shit, bro.
Yeah.
She's a freak.
That's also why I'm like, dude, I'm all in. I'm gonna sign up for Neuralink, all that shit. Lock me up, put me in that mother sucker.
You want Neuralink?
Yeah, sign me up for all of it. I want it all. Let's do it.
I'll take some robot parts.
Yeah, let's rock it. Absolutely.
This fighting stuff is run my body a little tough. You know what I mean?
I get that Dr. Dre cloning center going where they can put me in, like, you know, 25-year-old me and just keep spinning that up every 25 years. Like, all right, let's go again. Let's give it I'll get it right this time. I promise. I'll just one more shot. I'll get it right this time. You know? Yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. And I, you know, every time that, like, you know, I see, this is one of the things I loved about Florida, though, moving down here. And we've talked about it a lot. I get it crossed over whether we've talked about it here on Canceled Weekly or Slick and Thick, but a 70-year-old in Florida is like a 50-year-old in New York, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 70-year-olds, they're active, they're outside, they are, you know, like all these things that are happening. Sorry, but, you know, they're active, they're doing pickleball, they're boating, they're outside, like, you know. But meanwhile, a 50-year-old is just like sitting in traffic, sitting in a car, at a desk job. They seem old, like they seem at the end of it.
Man, this is gonna be. I wish we had clip number 5 coming up next. Would have been a beautiful transition. We're gonna talk about this though after, so we're gonna put a pin. You gotta put a pin in that one, just like to what you're saying, like that quality of life stuff. But another thing that's been going on, I've been seeing a lot of places have been banning kids from using social media. Right? You guys have been seeing that where, like, if you're under 15, like, you're not allowed to use it. So this instance has some crazy experiences on social media.
The mother of this TikToker that everyone was concerned for has finally spoken out. So for those who don't know, there was a lot of controversy surrounding this TikToker, Ren Eleanor. Basically, people are searching for very inappropriate videos of her. There were rumors that the daughter appeared on inappropriate websites, and there were grown men in her comment section actively hitting on her. Well, the mom just came out and said that the FBI searched and could not find any videos of her daughter on any inappropriate website. She also said that saying those videos exist is just spreading misinformation. She also said that other people should not shame her for sharing her daughter on social media. She also said that she is going to start making changes to her account in the future, like setting a filter for all the comments on her videos. And she said she's going to report and block any accounts that make inappropriate comments towards her daughter. And from now on, no one is going to be able to download or duet her videos. What do y'all think about this?
So have you seen this little girl, her account, and her mom? Have you guys seen any of it?
I have not. No.
Oh my gosh. It is truly awful what this mom is doing. Like,
she's exploiting her daughter.
100%.
She's like, I have a cute kid. We're gonna make all our money on TikTok
it's like
now.
A John Benet
she
Ramsey
was like
thing.
pretending that she was oblivious that there were all of these sickos that were watching this little girl's content for evil purposes. And like it's like evil isn't ashamed of itself. It is just, it's blinding and obvious and puts itself out there. So these fucking, I don't even want to say men, but like these despicable
Like
creatures,
pedos, perverts
are
types?
putting comments in there.
What are
So
they?
she
What are they
sees
searching
them.
for? I couldn't read the.
Bad stuff.
Okay.
And the mom, there's no way she didn't see the comments. It was just like an enormous amount of them. The volume was like it was impossible to ignore. And people started raising questions about it. The mom is putting videos of her in the tub, but like she's in a swimsuit, but like in the tub. Has her, I shared a couple with Christian that he could share. The gum one is good. She's doing like these innuendos and she knows what she's doing and it's not okay. I don't know how it's allowed because it's clearly she's trying to find these loopholes. Like, watch this video.
What does that say?
So it says like me, oh, I can't talk.
No, hold
It's
on.
all right.
I'll mute. Go ahead.
So it just says me saying not to swallow your gum. It'll be stuck in your belly for 7 years.
I swallowed it. Is that okay?
So like these innuendos, and there's so many. She does this thing where she puts up drinks and she has the little girl sucking on them to guess what drink it is. There's ones where she has like this honey that she kind of like jellified. So she's putting it and then you see like the honey coming out and then feeding it to her. She has her eating pickles, submarines, all of these things. And you can't, and then the comment section is just disgusting. Like it's a cesspool and she keeps making it. And she's like, I'm just making content and it's,
She's
I'm
making like dick themed content.
Yeah.
With her daughter.
Yeah, like her baby. Like, she's like, what, 3, 4?
I didn't realize
5?
that was what was going on. I figured she was like exploiting her to some degree. Like,
And that's bad enough, but
Yeah,
no, there's like
that's-
all of these like
come on, mommy
hidden
doesn't want to
Easter
work.
eggs.
So let's
is that-
entertain
is that
fucking
supposed to be
pedophiles.
is that supposed to be like a jizz innuendo? Was
Yeah.
That's what that was supposed to
Yeah.
be?
Yeah.
And she can say no, but if
And
you
these people are they're using their actual accounts, or these all have to be burner accounts?
probably burner accounts. I haven't like done a deep dive into the people that were making the comments.
I'm sure
and
she's getting like
Listen.
money off it. If she's getting a lot of views,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a lot of, you know
A
what I mean?
ton.
She can.
and that's how she
you know-
justifies it.
I went down
Yeah.
this rabbit hole the other night and I couldn't sleep. You ever heard of panda eyes?
Mm-mm.
Jesus Christ, man. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
What is it?
It's I don't even really want to talk about it. But it's a response to forced sodomy. The pain in the child's eyes, the pain and the stress breaks all the blood vessels and it swells so that they have these like giant black eyes like bulging out, and it's a sure cell sign of abuse and assault. And there's like these Hollywood symbols. I don't want to go crazy down the Illuminati thing, but like where people panda, and they go like they come out and they have like these black eyes and all this other stuff, and I didn't believe it was true. All right, and I saw it on TikTok and I was like, there's no fucking way this is real. There's just no fucking way somebody could do this to a child. And it turns out it's not fake. It's not false. It is a trauma response. It's something that exists. And if this is what's really happening, I can only hope and I can only pray that this is a front, that they're trying to root out these people, and then somebody like 0 Day is finding out who those people are in their burner accounts, and something is being done. Because there's just no way that could be allowed to exist. But I will also say, you talked about social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would not know about panda eyes without social media. So not to turn this conversation, but I'm against the social media bans. I don't think any access to information is ever a bad thing.
No, they can't have a profile. It's different.
Okay.
So it's 12 and under. It's not 16. It's 12 and under cannot have a social media profile.
But they can search social media.
Isn't there
and
different ones in
see.
different states? I could have sworn I saw a 16.
All I've seen was Florida's ruling on
I
it.
saw Ohio was doing one.
Yeah, I didn't see the rest.
I'm kind of for it. I know I have little sisters who are, like young, and I don't want them to be like on this. I don't want them to be exposed to a lot of this shit that's out
Chris,
there.
look up panda eyes
You know,
so that people don't think I'm nuts.
I think there's something good about it. I think it should I think it's until they have to get like parental consent or something at a certain age. I think it's good. I think they don't need to be exposed to some of all these fucking
Cyberbullying,
whack
extreme
jobs.
bullying.
Yeah, all it's just so much. It's just a lot. It's a lot for our brains. Imagine for their brains, their developing, growing brains. Like it's a lot. There's so many people who I almost feel like a lot of people I meet, like especially younger people, are almost even younger because you'd think all this information that's out there, oh, they're gonna be so smart. But no, it's like it's overwhelming. It's so much. They're not actually that fucking smart. They're like a 25-year-old who used to be 25 is like 18 now. It's almost like everyone's or even almost 10 years behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people are just they're like I think they're inundated with information and not really like learning. Like usually you learn one task, almost like a was it jack of all trades, master of none?
Mm-hmm.
But it's even worse than that, where it's just there's just so much shit thrown and they know little bits and pieces of stuff, but don't really know this, don't know who they are.
Sure.
And I think this stuff kind of it like just like filters out like a lot of themselves.
Yes. And I think I get it. And it's a valid argument that everybody sees the bad parts of social media, everybody internalizes it. But I've learned a ton off of social media. I met you off social media. I met you off social media. This show doesn't exist without social media. Everybody listening to us right now is listening to us via media. It's a tool, and it's a very, very powerful tool. And like any other powerful tool, it needs to be respected. And I get it. There's an argument for not giving a 12-year-old a chainsaw, right? But it's a chainsaw, and used correctly, it can cut down that tree. And it'd take that 12-year-old a lot longer to cut it down with an axe. So I totally understand it, and I get protecting them, especially from predators like this. But I also think social media is how we have fought the culture war. It's how we've outed all of the government lies and corruption. And I think restricting people's access is what the powerful want. It's to me no different than a gun control. But you wouldn't give a kid a gun, and I get that. But I think that's the parent's job to monitor. I don't know.
Now I'm not
I
hear what you're
decided
saying.
on it, but it's like access to the information is
I hear what you're
mostly
saying,
good, not bad.
But you don't think there's like an age thing? Like you don't think if anything it could be used if they could be like indoctrinated at a young age into not true information.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't know what the answer is. I'm not calling for like a ban on social media like worldwide or across the board. I do almost feel like let kids develop a little more. Let them grow in the real world before they get all up in this fake world.
Shocking me with baseball, man. Like how many kids that I would coach and they would rather play video games as somebody else online than actually like be there playing baseball yourself. And I'm like, this is you. You can play as you in real life. You don't need to play as Mike Trout. You can play as you. But on the other hand, like their interest in baseball came from the video game. So I get it. Believe me, I understand both. And if you're a parent and you decide that your kids shouldn't have social media, okay, I think I respect that more. I just maybe my personal bias is the
and I
government
think
shouldn't
that's
be telling
more the
us.
thing.
Huh?
And I think that's more the thing. And my understanding of these bills is like without parental consent.
No, some of it's outright no. Like in Florida.
Are you sure?
Yeah, in Florida, anybody, I believe it was 14. Anybody 14 and under, it's gonna be banned. They're going to, but how? But here's the thing. How what does that mean? Do 14-year-olds have ID now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like how do we track that? Now you're talking about biometric scanning.
I mean, they're already doing that.
So
They've been
now
doing
you want your
that
kids
with
to
the
be
filters.
now you want your kid biometrically scanned.
They already are.
That's so like I
They
got
already have
I got a
been.
much bigger problem with that.
But it already exists.
I know they're fake to get on to get onto PlayStation to get into like EA Sports. They scan your kid's eyes. Like that's way worse to me.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
Yeah. I'm certain I saw some parental consent stuff in there. So I don't know in what capacity that is, and I don't know which different states could be doing different things. I'm for that. I'd like the parents to have at least a say in it. You know what I mean? But if it's just an outright ban,
yeah,
then that maybe I need to like rethink it.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when there was
needs to be
parental rights
involved.
though. But I remember old enough to remember when they were talking about 16-year-olds can't buy Marilyn Manson CDs because that's how you get school shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's always a reason, something that they get to point the finger at.
I'm at least happy they're throwing it to the parents and not excluding the parents, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I like about it. I think the parents is an important part of when a lot of the stuff in these schools are telling like, nah, your parents are bad.
Yeah.
We're us the teachers and us the government. We're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like that. That shit I don't fuck with.
Yeah. I get it. I guess I'm undecided. I need more information to really make a decision. I would side on the side of let the people have access, and then you could always scale it back. Without access, very, very wary of restricting, especially when it's government restriction.
Yeah, but what do you
14 becomes 15, 15 becomes 17. How old do you have to be to buy cigarettes now?
21, I think.
Started at 18. And cigarettes are
I
bad.
remember it was like,
I get it.
It's 21 now?
I think so.
21.
That's interesting. So I remember it was 18 when I was like a kid, and I feel like right around the time I turned like 18, it became 19.
Yeah.
And I remember like all a bunch of kids and like.
So sure, and you can't make an argument that cigarettes are good for you. Just can't, and I get it. But 18 became 19, 19 became 21, 15 becomes 16, 16 becomes 17, 17 becomes 21.
Go to the military at 18 and could vote at 18 though.
Great questions. They're trying to make voting 16 years old. So these people are old enough and wise enough to vote,
but not wise enough to
have an Instagram account.
Yeah, well, freaking government, bro. Government, bro. Speaking of government, bro, we got old bro Biden over here talking on Trump and war.
The world has changed because of what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
So
let's retweet that right now and see how well that aged.
2020. First of all, that Biden is coherent.
That's a different Biden.
You think? Do you believe in the clone theory?
I was going to ask about the ears. What do you think about the ears?
Yeah. What do you think about the chin all of a sudden?
All the things.
So are you a that now? Now we're getting into my lane. We're gonna get down some conspiracy theories.
You have the most important person in the world, and you don't think that there's a backup plan?
And the backup plan just wasn't Kamala Harris?
No, of course not.
Can you imagine if they wanted the Joe Biden clone over Kamala Harris? No wonder she's drunk all the time. I'd be drunk all the time, too, if I got passed over for a clone.
I think crazier things have happened.
You go down that clone conspiracy theory.
What about the ears?
Then you start
talking about the ears.
You talk about Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx came out looking like a completely different human, and it was like, well, we can't let Jamie Foxx die of the vaccine, so we're just gonna come out and go 2.0.
I don't know. I worked with someone, and like he has.
CP, pull up some ears and some clone footage, please.
He has trained some very to-do people, and he said cloning is very real.
Really?
And he gave me some names that were not the same people.
Really?
Anymore. Yeah. I'll tell you off air.
This is
shit.
Or on our Patreon account.
I have
Patreon. Yeah.
Exactly.
The Patreon's gonna be a fucking banger.
I have two favorite. Like I love conspiracy theories are great, right? I'm not talking about conspiracy theories that are very clearly, obviously true things that they're telling you are conspiracy theories. That's just pattern recognition, morons. Like if you could, if you didn't know this thing came from a lab in Wuhan, that's not a conspiracy theory. You're just a moron. All right, you're
dude,
just a sheep.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just had a Patreon $1 million idea.
Okay.
All right, ready? So then we're gonna watch Gerard bombing, me losing a fight, and Candace's worst porn scenes.
Oh God.
I win that one because I bomb all the time, so that's easy for me. So
and I have a lot of terrible scenes, so we'll just go back in there.
I've lost a couple fights.
It's like the Island of Misfit Toys. Join us on Patreon.
So,
where dignity goes to die.
Come join in the Schadenfreude. Yeah. Instead of yelling at us in the comments, why don't you just come over to Patreon and just look at him trying to make that funny. It's so good. But so my two favorite actual crazy town conspiracy theories are the celebrity Illuminati clones and the aliens in Antarctica.
Oh, the flat Earth
I heard
aliens,
that's
Antarctica.
true.
You heard that's true?
I heard that's true.
What?
I know. From again.
The
These are
Admiral Byrd? Have you ever heard of
prominent
Admiral Byrd?
circles. I don't know.
Ooh, baby.
My
Admiral
flat Earth
Byrd.
friends' dicks just got so hard.
And it has nothing to do with Earth being flat, man. It's like Admiral Byrd flew over and there's like a giant hole at the South Pole, and he was like, what is this? And he
Well, it does have to do with the Earth being flat because they're saying there is no outer space, the flat Earth people.
there's no outer space.
No, it's just we're inside a firmament. We're inside like a dome,
uh-huh.
right? So any aliens or whatever, they're just outside of inside this dome. They're just outside of our.
Yeah, I saw this guy
parameters.
on the Sean Ryan show that's like the aliens are not in outer space. They're at the bottom of the ocean.
We know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Facts.
That's weird.
Yeah, right?
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And then why are there so many government bases and restricted areas?
Yeah. I mean, if they told us
It's a
some
weird
stuff,
place.
we could just, it would be real easy to say, nah, no, and this is why.
But why not? Like, are we pretending that it's an impossibility that there are other beings, intelligent beings?
I think it would be. I think it would be a
crazy.
joke if there was not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be someplace that we don't know?
Why are they
It's
hiding from us?
undiscovered.
Why are they hiding from us?
Who knows? Like, what if we're kind of like this experiment and they're not supposed to be interfering because they're researchers?
They just really want to watch these monkeys fuck.
They're trying to help us evolve to the next thing, and they don't want to get in the way of that. But then when we do something crazy, like try to nuke each other, like, don't do that. Quantum entanglement. It's going to hurt my planet 3,000 years from now. Like, okay.
Okay. So do you know the Admiral Byrd thing where he flew into the Earth's butthole basically, and then in the middle of Antarctica, and then they're fly. It's big enough for him and two other planes to fly into this hole, and they get down there, and it's like the most lush greenery you've ever seen in your life, and this emerald city, and then some being their planes got taken over by tractor beams, and they were brought to see this being called the Master, and the Master somehow knew English and was like, yeah, 1, shouldn't have come here. 2, don't come back here. 3, tell all the people that are going to want to talk to you when you get back to stop fucking around with nuclear bombs. That was like his 3 things. Now, there's some people that think his son wrote this. There's some people that think like an anti-war activist and stuff. But there's like Admiral Byrd's thing is very strange. He went from being like a General Patton type of guy, like, you know, to everybody being like, oh, this guy crazy. Don't talk to him no more. Yeah, really, really wild stuff, man. That's one of my favorite ones. And if I want to get real into Crazy Town, is the idea of like archangels, Michael, Gabriel, right? They're not people. They're like ships.
Aliens?
They're alien ships. It's the Mikael and the Gabriel, and it's like these were the ships that were sent to like fight off the demonic forces, the quote unquote demons, and Satan was just like an invader and stuff like that. Now we're getting into Crazy Town, but I like that tickles my sci-fi bone. But the idea, to bring this full circle, of the clones, have you seen the Dark Mirror episode about that with Miley Cyrus?
Nah.
Yes.
And there was
Dark Mirror, that's that show on Netflix?
yeah,
That shit creeps me out.
yeah.
They did it
Anne
before,
Heche,
too.
we've talked about it before. Anne Heche, dead.
Oh, yeah, her with the thing pulling up out of her thing. Yeah.
You know, and then there was one of these drug addict actors or actresses, I forget who it was, who was on like a red carpet, and they were like, is everything all right? And they're like, no, they're going to drug me. I'm going to die of a drug overdose, and then I'm going to come back clean and sober, and it's not going to be me. It's going to be a clone, the same way they tried to do with Michael and Prince. And like all this other, and everybody was like, what? They were like, yeah, when you go get your physical, it's not a physical. You're getting cloned, you know, and like she's doing this whole thing.
But we've cloned things,
Yeah.
right?
Dolly the sheep.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not a
but-
technology that's not available.
But how do you accelerate the aging to be the same age as you are? Like, you can clone a sheep, but that sheep still starts at year 0, day 0.
That we know of.
I know. Fuck, it's so true.
Why would they tell us?
I know. If I come in one day,
I wouldn't
and I'm
tell
just
us.
like, you know, the government does some good things. It's just they're not all bad. That's gonna be the tell, guys. That's gonna be the tell. And you're like, Gerard, what do you think about this salad? Oh, I love
I
salad.
was just about to say, Gerard's been eating a lot of salads lately.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, dude. Now, here's even weirder. Would you know you were the clone? Or you just think you're Jamie Foxx?
Well, then would the clone have a soul?
Does a clone have a soul?
I'd say no. My instinct would be to say no. Consciousness, yeah.
Yeah.
But a soul is consciousness.
I think no, I disagree. So there's
She's saying Dolly the sheep doesn't have a soul?
I would say I don't think a clone would. If my guess would be no. And
Do animals have souls and do
Oh my
like,
gosh, yeah.
insects?
have you ever had a dog?
Do insects?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think an
Question.
insect.
Fish?
No, I don't think so.
It's
That could be my
okay to
ignorance.
eat fish because they don't have any feeling. No.
Nirvana?
Something in the way. All right.
I got
well,
it
anyway,
from the beat.
Thanks, man.
I got the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing some of this clone stuff. I've been seeing this Taylor Swift and like something Shrek. She's based off. I don't know. There's all this crap.
Shrek?
Shrek?
Yeah, there's like a popular singer's last name was Shrek.
What?
I don't know.
In Taylor Swift, like Taylor Swift is?
She's like her. Like she looks like her. She like disappeared or something in like the 90s. Taylor Swift was born in like 1990. Taylor Swift was born in 89. Like right as a like it.
Really? Yeah. Huh.
But there's all this stuff you see and you don't know what's bullshit and what's, you know what I mean?
I've lost the capacity to just outrightly say no to anything anymore. I just can't.
Yeah, you can't.
I've just
you can't
lost
say
the
anything's
capacity.
No, but
Maybe.
you also it's hard.
Huh?
It's hard to say
Maybe.
anything's
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
I
everything's
don't
a
know.
fucking big maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? Until
maybe.
I'm able to prove otherwise, I have to believe it's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's Schrodinger's conspiracy theory. It is both not real and real at the same time.
Yeah, let's try and get back to this real world that we exist in our maybe land. So this is an interesting one. It's about hard work versus happiness.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
So I love this because I think it's like a paradox or almost like a contradiction at the same time where, like, you know, I know I work very hard in what I do. I'm on you know, killing myself on the mats in the gym all the time, right? And I enjoy it. I get a sense of like, you know, worth in it. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good thing when I'm working really hard, all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm also cognizant of like, I'm only here for, you know, maybe 70, 80 years, right? You know what I mean? And it's important to enjoy life and, you know, find happiness and, as they say, play. And when you hear a guy who is an accomplished guy, a doctor, and say, if I could do this life again, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. It's kind of interesting, huh? Mm-hmm. I think there's a happy medium to it, and I'm not the best at balance myself personally. I'm kind of an extremist where I can, like right now I'm in fight camp. I'm in the gym 2 times a day, busting my balls, pushing myself to my absolute limits, you know, 2 times a day. And then I'll have a fight, and then after I'll relax a little bit, and I'll try, you know what I mean? But even during now, I'm still trying to focus on, being happy and maintaining relationships and being, happy and friendly, even when I'm dog shit tired and not in the mood to have getting so tired that my social battery drops and different things, you know what I mean? And it's just such an interesting balance, I think, us as people find, especially, us three, we're all very driven and, hard workers and aspire to having big things. But it's you know what I mean? It's such a difficult thing where it's like, you want to enjoy things, you want to play and have fun, but if you just go fucking off, you're not going to accomplish anything. How are you going to be?
But you also
have
the added anxiety of time. You've got a decade left to do this thing. You don't have the next 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Although guys are going later and later. Tyson's about to fight, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, why not? But that anxiety more than anything else, I think, led to my downfall in baseball. We've talked about this. Is like, self-defeating. You put a clock on. It's like, I got to do more, and you can do too much. You can be too much on the razor's edge.
And not to just talk about myself again, but like that's something I'm very cognizant of, and that I'm talking with my coaches about every week. I was on the phone last night discussing it because I've overtrained before.
Sure.
I've thought, especially I got into the UFC at a young age. I knew I need to get as good as I can, as fast as I can, for my health, for my wealth, for everything, right? But so I don't want to do that anymore. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. I don't want to overtrain. I don't want to leave the fight in the gym. I don't want to be a shell of myself in the cage. You know what I mean? Because there is a happy medium that I'm not so good at finding and listening to myself.
So there was a guy named Manny Ramirez back when I was playing. I don't know if you remember him. Turned out he ended up being like a big
Manny Ramirez?
Guy. Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Unbelievable. He's probably not because he got popped a couple times, but one of the best players of the late 90s, 2000s. But he was like one of the very first of like the I don't give a shit baseball players. Never ran anything out, hit home runs. Like he was just like every day he was out there was like a day at the park. And it pissed off the old school guys, and they'd be like, look at this guy, And I remember being like, damn, can you just imagine Manny Ramirez, 50,000 people, Yankee Stadium, he don't care. Just out there, and just out there doing his thing, and like, that's wild, dude. And they're like, well, that's why he's there. Mm-hmm. That's why he's there. It doesn't even occur to him that this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Like you ever see like somebody.
That's kind of one of the things Alan Belcher talked about on Slick and Thick, where he's a professional fighter, and he's talking about like when we go into fights, we're ready to kill and die. That's our mindset. He's like, you're probably not going to kill the guy, and you're probably not going to die. So why are you putting all that pressure on yourself?
Why would you even put that? Why would you put that stress?
I don't know, but like at the same time, sometimes
you kind of need it, right? That edge.
I don't know if you need it, but it's like you want to commit all the way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I love that episode. If anybody can listen to one episode, that Belcher episode, I think was great. He was really, really, really insightful. I think you would like that too. A lot of very introspective stuff. I struggled this as well, Mick. I struggle like, I like listening to Jordan Peterson about duty and purpose and sacrifice, and then I listen to Alan Watts, and like nothing matters, man. Are you having a good time?
Who seems happier?
Watts.
Who seems more fulfilled? Who seems more enlightened?
Dude, I'm not gonna say Jordan Peterson doesn't seem fulfilled or he's not enlightened. He's severe. He's more severe, but also like with Alan Watts, if nothing matters, then nothing matters. So I get it, but I also, if that guy was poor, do you think he'd be saying, I wish I didn't work hard, or I wish I just fucked around? Like, he's coming from a position where,
that's the thing, is I think someone who just fucked around their whole life is probably saying, I wish I worked harder.
I've heard it both ways.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
But you're conflating fucking around and having joy and peace and being present. Those aren't the same things. So I think when you talk about that baseball player, I think that it applies to any walk of life. It's you do the thing for the sake of doing the thing, for the joy of doing the thing, not for the accolades and the pay and the status and what have you. And don't look at it as like work and sacrifice. The whole sacrificial mindset is very puritanical, right? It's like without suffering, punishment, paying, remorse, all these things that you're not allowed to enjoy your life, and that's crazy. Like we're taught we have to earn happiness, we have to earn joy. And it's like, what if you're on this train and you're fighting for the first class cabin and the fine china, and you want the sleeper cart with the best food and all of these things, but what if that train's going off of a fucking cliff? Do you still want to be on that train?
Right? Sure.
Right. So I think it's like, do the thing for the sake of doing the thing, enjoy it fully, and not all pain is evil. Not all work is
Noble.
meant to be like it's not meant to be exhausting, I guess. I don't know how to
I do struggle with that.
Yeah.
That point. And this is probably something growing up in a blue collar like household where like I could be here at the studio working, quote unquote, all day long for 10 hours. But if I didn't work, if I didn't like screw something into a wall, if I didn't sweat, I don't feel like I worked. I don't feel like I did anything. So like there's this idea that like work does have to, you got to feel work. There is that idea. You set up, I set up a couple options trades and, make more money in a week than I made in a year. And I'm like, oh, this isn't work, because it didn't hurt. It didn't.
Right.
I know. So what is that though? Why is that?
I don't know
necessary?
why we equate that because
Right.
I do the same thing. If I'm in the gym and even if I'm tired from doing 6 practices earlier that week, that 7th practice, if I'm not walking off the mat, dog shit tired. I'm like, I don't think did I do enough? I question.
Bro, I've heard you when you've come off of 2 practices going like, I can get a third. I'm not tired. And it's like, did you really need that third, or you just wanted to walk off that bitch? It's almost like a gambling addiction. It's like a guy who wins and wins and wins. They chase that loss. They want to feel the pain. It's like they don't feel like they're gambling if they win. I'm winning. I want to, but I need that last game. I gotta, then I can really make something.
Yeah.
You're just chasing that loss, chasing that pain. There is definitely a little bit of that. I think. I don't know.
I take from this one thing though. I take, and I would like implore to anyone listening to this, find that play too. I think the word play is great. Play. Be like that kid. Yeah. Find that inner child in you too. Whether it's you go to the beach and screw around and be goofy and laugh and like find those happy
softball,
moments.
Yeah, it helps. Big
find
time.
that. Try and so what I do is I'm gonna work hard as hell, and I'm also gonna find times to laugh and be happy and have joy every day.
I think purpose matters too, right? Like you talked about going first class cabin and all. If you're busting your ass and leaving your family behind so that you can sit in first class instead of business class, that's pause for reflection, right? But if you're busting your ass so that your family can have a good life, get out of a place, your mom can, like we talked about before, I think that your why matters also, right? Like if you're doing it for self-centered, narcissistic means, me, I, then yeah, you should be doing less and giving more, right? Because part of that, what he's talking about is spending time with his family and all this other stuff, right? Yeah. So I don't get guys that go nuts over materialistic things. I like materialistic things. I think things are cool, but I don't get guys that like go batshit crazy over.
Lose themselves in it.
Yeah, like I don't get guys that are like, I have a G4, man, but this son of a bitch has a G5, and I can't even look at him. And it's like,
I've met so many of those people.
What? Yeah,
It's
what are you?
so weird.
Like, what are you doing?
We'd be on like a private jet, and we'd be like parking, and another one would come that was bigger, and this guy would eat him up. And I'm like, we're on a fucking private jet. Why does that one matter?
Well, I'll tell you why it matters. It was on a boat, buddy of ours. Nice boat, like a boat, normal boat. And he had he brought a couple friends out there, a couple girls out there. They're having a great time. He likes the attention from getting girls on the boat, right? And he's a good-looking guy. It's not like he needs them. And then we pull up, we dock at the sandbar, and then another boat pulls up, and all the girls talk about how nice that boat is. And they're talking to the guys on that boat. And then this dude went ahead and started telling me about, hey, I think I'm going to buy this boat. Starts texting me, what do you think about this boat? And I'm like, dog, your boat's fine. Fuck them bitches. Your boat's fine. And I could tell that his entire day, it was a nice day, and those girls were just like, wow, cool boat.
Ate him up.
Ruined his whole day. Ruined his whole day. Now, to his credit, though, he's not crazy. If it was my boat and it was my party, I would have been like, get in the water and swim over there and them bitches. You like it so much? Get over there. I ain't stopping you.
Yeah, they're breaking the rules.
Yeah, right? Like you're being a tad bit rude here.
Yeah.
But if you're a boat bunny, you're a boat bunny. Whatever. It is what it is.
You said before, like, where does that come from? Like the that hard work and feel like you have to suffer to get things. And he mentions in his video that it comes from childhood traumas. He doesn't really divulge much about it. He doesn't get into it more. But I mean, I know my dad worked 6 days a week, and he worked, from 8 till 7, So I would see that. And like that example was there, and I'm sure, your father was the same way. Like, blue collar guys, like
There's big value in work. I think there's big value in work. I think there's even bigger value in purpose.
And I think it gives you a strong work ethic, but I think it needs to be checked as well, because you can put your head down and just grind, but you could wake up and be 65 and you didn't enjoy any of your life.
And then if we want to get even crazier with that, and this is something, I love my father to death. He's the most important person in my life. But this is something we've had to work through, for us to maintain a relationship as I've gotten older, is, he talks about how much he worked and how much he spent and how much he sacrificed. And I'm sitting here going like, I didn't fucking ask you to do any of that. What are you telling me for? Like,
yeah, mine's the same.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Like, I don't like, hey man, yeah, I didn't ask you to do that. That sucks. That sucks. You should not have done that. Like, yeah. I
See,
don't.
And that's where I have an issue with the word work, because like I don't think people should be leeches by any sense, but I think what's important is contribution. And I don't think contribution and work are the same thing. Like if you're someone that's going to work at the crack of dawn, you're not coming home until dinner time, so you see your kid for an hour, and your work doesn't really have contribution. Like you're just showing up, clocking in, and working a cubicle job. Like if that's all that's available, I'm not like judging that, but I'm saying like that's not the same as contribution. Right. Yeah. And I think that's what gives you purpose, not working hard.
It's definitely not what you were put on this earth to do.
No.
Just so you can have a 5,000 square foot home in Homedale that you're never in.
No.
You have a receding hairline because of the stress, and you lose your gallbladder.
No, and then there's like so many people too that are just like keeping up with the Joneses and living outside of their means, and they're sacrificing everything for that.
Because it justifies the sacrifice. It's a perpetuating circle. They stretch themselves beyond their means, so they have to work. It's like Sun Tzu. You put yourself on death's door to get the best out of you. Then you got to work, and then you're like, well, I do my best work when I'm on death's door, so then I upsize again, and then then you're able to look back and justify, well, I went to college I didn't want to go to and got a degree I didn't want to get to, work at a job that I don't want to have, but look at all this stuff I got, so it's worth it. My life's not wasted, because they can't go back in time. Mm-hmm. So it's a very hard thing to sit here at some point and reevaluate, and this is where the midlife crisis comes in. Where the fucking guy turns up, he wakes up, he's 50 years old, and goes, what the fuck did I just do for the last 30 years? Holy shit. What did I just do with the last 30 years of my life? What the fuck? I'm almost, this ride's almost over, and I haven't done shit. That's fucking wild, man. But I will say, man, I remember being, I don't want to feel like I'm talking shit about my dad. I remember being embarrassed. I'd be 10 years old. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be so embarrassed. Because he would get off the bus outside of our Little League field. He would take the bus, right, from Manhattan down to Cheesequake baseball fields in Old Bridge, New Jersey, get off the bus in his full suit, and he'd be jogging in his suit so he could come make our fucking 10-year-old game, man. And I would be so upset. I'd be like, Dad, where's your uniform? Everybody's in a uniform. And he'd just be like, shut up. And he'd coach third base, in the suit, And I remember thinking, like, now I look back then, I was like, my God, man. The fucking what he had to go through.
What a hustler.
What, like, the shit he must have put up with his boss and be like, hey man, I got to get out of here an hour early. You mind? I'll work late. I'll come in on Saturday. I got to go coach my kid's game. And how many other, how many promotions or whatever he was passed up on because this guy's got to leave on, at 5 o'clock. Johnson stayed till 8. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
You go home and you coach your kid. Go ahead, coach your kid.
It happens to moms too. So when they talk about like this pay gap, which is bogus, it's bogus if you're just separating based off of the sexes, but it's the cost of motherhood. Yeah. So because moms tend to be the primary caretaker, it's 100% affects your pay. And if you do compare a mom's pay to other people, you get punished for showing up. And then we get told we can do it all. You can have the job and be a boss babe, but you can also be an awesome wife and an awesome mom and an awesome friend, and then also squeeze in time for personal development.
Sure.
And no way.
Yep.
So there's going to be always a trade-off.
And then you get the Fortune 500 companies that are like super pro-feminist, and we'll pay for you to get your abortion. Forget this. We are pro-feminist. And then it turns out, no. It's just cheaper for them to help you kill your baby than it is for them to pay you the maternity leave. They'd rather not lose you as the employee for those months. They'd rather keep you in the workforce. They will help you eliminate that distraction. that is your child that you could be upbringing, because it is a net negative on their bottom line.
Well, that's dark.
Well, speaking of the play side, I got a feeling these people did a lot of playing in the early 2000s. Pull it up, CP.
On my page if you want it, it is old to page whoa. You ain't gotta say too much from the look in your eyes. I can tell you wanna fuck. And you ain't gotta call me a fool, so bad as you wanna fuck, I wanna fuck. No, you ain't gotta say too much from the look in your eyes. I can tell you wanna fuck. And you ain't gotta call me a fool, so bad as you wanna fuck, I wanna fuck too.
That little kid right there.
Ice cream, leg from head to toe, bending me over, 69 will be the next thing. I wanna taste your body,
Wanna taste
all
your
night long, from sundown to sundown.
Little kid in the
I
do-rag.
wanna make you mine.
Oh, nice.
You ain't gotta say too much from the look in your eyes. I can tell you wanna fuck.
Were
Oh, we're gonna watch
pills
this all the way to the end,
Were
huh?
pills around here?
Huh?
Were pills around yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's ecstasy right there.
Yeah, we sound good.
You ain't gotta call me a fool, just as bad as you wanna fuck, I wanna fuck.
If there's gonna be a third verse, we're not gonna. I think we're good. We get it.
What does the caption say above?
The caption says, "Coming to you live from Staten Island, New York."
That's not true. Is that, what does it say, Christian?
It says everybody wants to talk about how good the 2000s were, but forget like this is the 2000s.
I would love to see where they are now.
Oh, Staten Island, probably. I got to tell you what, man, you've convinced me, and let's just get rid of social media altogether.
Yeah, right.
you guys win the argument. Circle gets the square.
They're singing a song about fucking each other with their baby right there. I mean, I know that's how they're made and stuff, but like the kids,
It's
like,
weird, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just so, like, there's just a lot going on here, a
weird.
lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there's the thick headbands.
The headwear,
The tongue
Thick
thing, I
headbands.
still feel really uneasy about.
I didn't do it for
Abercrombie
you.
Fitch
No.
top with the. He's definitely rocking some
Ugh.
Sean John jeans. You know, I don't care. We peaked in the late '90s. It was phenomenal. Late '90s, early 2000s. What a great place to be. This was. It was fantastic.
And the look in your eye, I can tell you
Velour
what I'm
jumpsuits. All right, velour jumpsuits.
Oh, I had that in every color.
Uh huh.
Every color.
Did you have juicy on the booty?
Yep, I did.
Oh,
Of course, you
come
had to.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah, every color.
And then there, even hotter was like they had these like low rise. They almost looked like plastic parachute, like windbreaker pants that they would like pull up to their calves, and they had like drawstrings on them, and then they'd hang like their thong out of the top of it.
Yep. Cisco was real big.
Ooh. Yeah, man.
And then do you remember when J-Lo had her own brand of clothing and she had these jeans? I remember they were my favorite pair. They had sparkles on them and then they laced in leather
my
up
God,
the front.
yes, yeah.
So you'd see like all the skin. And
Correct.
I should not have been allowed to wear
No
those
way.
at all.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Oh, man.
Here we are.
Oh,
So
man.
that's what that did.
Phenomenal. Just absolutely. Phenomenal. Bring me back. Bring me back.
All right, so
man.
we are going back.
We're
though.
going back.
We're going back.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Those guys still
Hot
exist.
tub time machine.
Oh, bring me back to 99 or 2000, 2001, 2000. Honestly, if I had to pick, probably 2004 was pretty lit, bro. Freshman year of college, 2005, that was lit. It was good. It
I
was
think
good
everyone's
times.
freshman year of college is pretty lit.
Yeah, but I mean,
That
like
was
that whole
terrible.
like. Some
Yeah,
of
you
the,
were working three
some
jobs
of the stuff in
and
late
getting-
90s wasn't
was,
great. I'm just talking like from cultural. Like late 90s got a little weird. We started rocking like ski mask, sunglasses for no reason, and like, you know, bucket hats and Kangol for no reason.
I
and
never had the bucket hat.
never did the bucket
I
hat.
don't like hats.
You didn't do the
I
hats.
always feel like I'm wearing a hat.
There's definitely got to be a picture. There's definitely a picture.
Problem with
out
hats
there.
is
It's like no, I'm wearing a hat.
Did you ever do the one leg up, one leg down? You ever do that?
No.
Hose up, pimps down. You never did that?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did you ever had overalls where you left like one of the overall buttons off, and it was like a wife beater underneath?
I did the wife beater with the tie. The whole Avril Lavigne thing.
Avril
That
Lavigne.
had its moment.
Oops, did you do the oops I did it again thing or no?
Which the red thing?
Yeah, like the dress
Oh,
shirt
this-
like tied up.
Oh, not till later. That was like college. Yeah, college.
No,
I
they're
would-
just phenomenal.
My cousin was a wigger.
Well, yeah, a lot of them were. That's all. That's what it was. You know, can't hardly wait.
Yeah.
Why you always jocking my flavor? You know, Malibu's Most Wanted, the whole thing.
Yeah. Malibu's Most Wanted.
You had apple bottom jeans, Nelly.
Boots with the fur.
You know, yes. So I
jeans.
always thought
Hot
it
shit!
meant that it was boots with fur on it, but it's boots like
Wearing
Tim's
the fur.
with a fur.
Yeah.
I thought it was furry boots the
I
whole
just learned.
time. It's not furry boots.
No, and then oh man, what a great time to be a fat kid. Everybody had these like giant like bear jackets that had like these huge
baggy.
They had like lumps. Everybody looked like the Michelin Man walking around. It was a hard ass time, bro. You had to act like things were gonna go down at any moment. You had to act hard. None of this fruity shit we got today. Like, oh, I'm a they them. And back then we were like, yo, what's up, dog? How you doing? It is Old Bridge, New Jersey, son. Yeah, my dad makes $80,000 a year. What? What about it? Yeah, he's got a pension, and we live in like a half acre. But like what? Like they grew up in Brooklyn. Like it's so stupid, dude. It was so. We got in trouble. We came out wearing baggy shorts with black socks and black shoes for our basketball team, and it was like a whole thing. It's like, what are these boys trying to say? What are these men? What are they doing?
I was trying to look like AI.
Yeah.
Like Iverson.
Iverson was the man. Yeah, dude.
The wrist thing.
Yeah, dude.
Forearm band.
And they didn't make that back then.
Sleeve.
We had to cut our own sleeves. Dude, the first time I wore quote unquote
the sleeve keeps falling at the top.
The first time I wore quote unquote Under Armour under my football uniform, it was like my mom's pantyhose, dude.
Oh.
It was like, I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. And I'm like waiting for everybody else to leave the locker room and it being like, put it on and put my pants on. It's crazy, bro. But dude, we didn't have ankle socks. You had to take the normal socks that were above the ankle and fold them under.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about that. About like how far we've come with that bullshit. Did you have a landline phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you talk now. If we want to talk about doing
So
something,
wait, landline like connected to the thing?
yes.
I think so. Like when I was like,
You didn't have like the super long cord? Because I mean, we had
like
one that
maybe
was
like
a cord.
at like my grandma's house. The other one would be like it'd be on the like you'd have a home phone.
Yeah.
Where the school could leave messages if you were bad.
Yep.
But like you could walk around the house with it.
Yeah. Like a home walkie-talkie type deal, like a
phone,
cordless. The
like
cordless. It was called a cordless.
Yeah.
And then like your mom would be on the other line, and you could hear her breathing. It's like, Mom, I can hear you breathing.
Yeah.
You hear the click real quick. Like all this fucking wild shit. Now that's something I can get on board with. Instead of like social media, I think if you get a text from your boss at night, that should count as overtime pay.
Mm.
Like you used to be able to come off the clock. Like I'm home, but I'm home. Like if you're calling from the office, like it better be a fire.
France has that.
Does France have that?
implemented. Mm-hmm.
So what does France have?
The company and the employer will actually get like a really hefty fine if he goes out like outside of work hours for emails, texts, phone calls, any of that. Not allowed to do it.
I like that.
Because you have to create the boundary. Otherwise, there's going to always be another shark that's coming up and he's like, I'll do it.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Or, and again, it goes back to what we talked about before. And now people are going to say this is the issue with capitalism, right? And it's like, you want to coach your kid's game? Then go coach your kid's game. Johnson gets the, hey, how come I didn't get the promotion? Well, Johnson answers his text at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Johnson, that
you
dickhead
don't own
working
your
for you.
employees, and we've talked about
you
that.
brown nose. See, this is where unions like everybody thinks I'm a libertarian, so I'm anti-union. Like unions have their place. They've just lost their way. Unions should be protecting the worker from these bully tactics. But instead they just got infiltrated by bad actors. But this is what unions should be doing. They should be like, hey, did you text our union member at 11 o'clock at night last night and say, hey, we have an 8 a.m. meeting?
Yeah.
Can't do that, bro.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Mm-mm.
I remember I got yelled at for missing an 8 a.m. meeting when I got an 11 o'clock phone call. I was like, yeah, nah, I'll be there at 9. They were like, did you get the call last night? I was like, yeah. They're like, why weren't you here? I was like, because I told them I'd be there at 9.
You would be a terrible employee.
I'm not a good employee.
Terrible
I'm
employee.
not a good employee. I'm not great.
Yeah, me either.
Because I have self-worth. So like, yeah, dude. Yeah,
Boundaries.
I'll be there at 9. And I will leave at 5. And if you want me to be there before or after, happy to be there before or after. For money.
Speaking of which, I think it's about time I punch the clock on this Cancel Weekly episode. I've been Mickey Gall, as I always am. That's always Candace Horbatch. And he's been Gerard Michaels.
I'm not a clone. I'm not a clone.
The only one. This has been Cancel Weekly. Thanks. Peace.